This is a presentation of Northeast Streaming Sports.
Hey guys, Keith Angle for TGI Sports Talk in the Northeast Streaming Sports Network. How are you today? My weekly vlog can be a little bit more subdued than normal as we approach the 20th anniversary of the 9/11 attacks on this country, both in New York City and in Washington, D.C., and obviously, the flight that crashed in Pennsylvania as well. Very somber time. We need to reflect on the events of that day, the events that happened afterwards, and the lives that were lost, and the lives that were saved. Quite frankly, but I want to make sure that we do that respectfully, and I approach this topic respectfully because I am not trying to diminish the impact of that day and the day's sense on the families that were impacted, whether they lost loved ones or what may have been, how they may have been impacted by different events that unfolded that day and the day's sense. This isn't a political statement by me by any means, but I want people to understand that I think sports is a trivial matter when it comes to a lot of things, and especially when we're talking about the events of 9/11 and other tragic events that have happened through the years. But sports is also a salve for tragedies that we've suffered in this country, and it was at that time as well. And in the days past, we didn't know whether sports leagues would continue, and there was a lot of talk about canceling seasons. And you look at it, would have been appropriate if that happened. But I do think too that at least here in New York, and I think throughout the country, that it was cathartic to get back to sports 10 days, 2 weeks later, whatever it was. I know that the Mets and Braves coming back, and the Yankees coming back and being in a pennant race and getting to the World Series, and a lot of the families that were impacted and lost loved ones in these attacks were brought to the ballparks and try to help leave some of their pain just for a little while. And there were some very moving moments during this time. With as I said, with the families, with the players getting out in the community, with them wearing their fire department or their police department NYPD or NYFD hats, and just the unity that was shown, not just in the world of sports and helping out, but all of us. I mean, this was a tragic event, and I really wish that it didn't take such a tragic event for us to come together as a country and as a people. No Republican, no Democrat. I'm not going to make this a political statement. We came together as one on 9/12 and in the weeks and months that followed it. It shouldn't take a tragedy like that for us to be able to get on the same page. Sports, it can be unifying, factor in things like that. But just what happened to this country, and we came together, as I said, on September 12th, is the way we should be all the time. September 12th and in the months that followed. It dissipated way too fast. And it shouldn't take another tragedy like that to unify this country again. And I pray to God that it doesn't. So that's my statement on that part. But the sports part, sports was really a salve for the New York City area. And as I said, I think the country as a whole. That Braves, as I said, the Braves Mets series that opened up, I think it was one of the first events that started things back up. Piazza hitting a tremendous home run in one of those games, which was such a feel-good moment. The Yankees, again, Mets reaching out to the community and helping in any ways that they could, and distracting everybody with a tremendous pennant race for the Yankees. Obviously, it ended in a loss in the World Series, but that's okay. The city and the country really needed what sports gave it, not just the Yankees and the Mets, but all around the country. My Patriots, the first year they went to a Super Bowl was the Super Bowl following 9/11. How appropriate that the Patriots were in the Super Bowl that followed 9/11, because we were all still feeling like patriots then. Patriots don't exist on one side of the aisle or the other, guys. There's patriots everywhere. And we need to get back to that feeling. And I don't want to see another tragedy like this have to happen to make that reality come to be. Let's be like that all the time. Let's treat each other the way we did following those days, those tragic days. I remember them like they were yesterday. I had a family at the time in the vicinity. We didn't know if they were safe or not. Turned out they were, thank God. Had friends that should have been in the trade centers that day, and they weren't. Thank God. But many people didn't have that experience. And I really think that sports helped a lot. And some of you will think it's trivial and it's nonsensical, that sports means nothing. And again, in the grand scheme of things, it does mean nothing. But sports has helped this country so many times, following world wars, World War I, World War II, the Pearl Harbor attack, JFK's assassination, even though they shouldn't have played that Sunday. But sports is an escape, which is the reason sports needs to stay out of the political arena more than it does today. I agree that I'm still able to separate the two, because sports still needs to be that escape, and it isn't as much as it was, especially in those days. And I will never forget those days at all, and I hope none of you do. I hope we don't forget what happened in 9/11 and the sacrifices that were made, by the passengers of the jetliner that was crashed in Pennsylvania. And they knew what they were giving up, and potentially, I don't know if they really knew what they were saving or not. I mean, again, interpretations are different, but that plane was likely headed either to the Capitol or to the White House. Doesn't matter whether you're Republican or Democrat, guys. Come together. Let's take this moment in history 20 years later and learn again from it, like we did then. Let's unite. Let's unite and be patriots. Not New England Patriots, patriots. Let's enjoy the sports this weekend. I think it's awesome that they put the Mets and Yankees together playing this weekend. I hope the baseball isn't atrocious with those two teams playing, but again, it's still appropriate that these teams are playing each other, I think, on this weekend. But again, the sports itself, trivial. The distraction that it gave us as a country, and especially to the city of New York, and again, Washington, D.C., don't forget how devastated they were there, and those families on Flight 93. So this isn't my normal vlog, guys, and I hope, I'm not doing anything except giving my heartfelt thanks to the people that did help calm people's emotions and soothe their pain as much as they could in those days that followed 9/11. And I hope that we can revisit not that moment, but the moments following it, the days following it. That's what I want to feel again. And I want to feel that way, that togetherness, not the pain that came from it, but the togetherness that we had as a people, and the way we treated each other better for a short time, but we did, and it should be able to happen again. And I pray to God that it can. So, guys, pay your respects this weekend. You know, give your moment of silence and pay your respects, however you do it, to the people that perished and the people that saved other lives, and the people that were prepared to sacrifice their lives if they had to. And then enjoy some distraction of some exciting sporting action this weekend. I think it's appropriate, given how important sports was when it came back then. I think we are allowed to enjoy ourselves and be distracted by some fun, which sports is supposed to be. And let's make it that again. That's all I got to say. Keith Engel, TGI Sports Talk, right here in the Northeast Streaming Sports Network. I hope you have a great weekend, and God bless America.